The Global Briefing on SAfm.
Well, we'll start off with the NATO Summit in Ankara. That has finally ended. But however, the family photo can't hide the family feud, right? President Trump used the summit stage to really lay into Spain over defense spending, calling for trade with a NATO ally to be cut off. And he also revived his claim on Greenland, a territory of another ally, which is Denmark. The Secretary General, Mark Rutte, insists that the alliance quarreled and came out united. Dr. Joan Swart is a researcher in military science at the University of Stellenbosch. Joan, good morning to you. Thanks for your time. Yeah, did they really come out united?
Good morning, Cathy. No, I kind of would call it managed disagreement. They kind of tried to project unity, especially Rutte. But, beneath the surface, it exposed an alliance that's increasingly balancing shared security, their needs for that, with diverging national interests of the separate countries, both on the US side and the Europe side. And three things, to keep it short, three things for me stood out. It's firstly Europe's plans to develop an independent defense force, and that kind of worked because I don't think Trump wanted to attend. He initially indicated that he may not, and then he decided to do that. The other reason for his attendance, I think, was that Erdogan of Turkey made some overtures towards him, and that kind of seemed to have panned out. Erdogan or Turkey is under embargo for weapons purchases from the US. They wanted to buy F-35 jets, and they wanted to buy a Patriot missile system before, which was the delays made it difficult for them, so they went to Russia instead, and therefore the embargo on them. Now, Trump agreed to turn that around and allow them to buy the jets again. And then you mentioned Trump's insults, kind of sometimes personal, to Meloni from Italy, Sanchez from Spain, who he wanted to stop trade to, and then remarks about Greenland and Denmark. So, lots of division still. And I don't think they'll sort it out very quickly and easily.
Yeah, absolutely, Joan. If we move on to Manila, we're seeing the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. That's underway. And really, it's a once unthinkable showdown, right, between these two dynasties that ran the Philippines as a tag team just 4 years ago. So when you look at what is unfolding in Manila, to what end, how did the Marcos-Duterte dream ticket of 2022 collapse into what we're seeing today?
That's a story like a modern day soap story. I think somebody will probably make a film about this. It reflects a broader struggle over the Philippines' future direction, especially its place in the strategic competition between the United States and China. The Philippines geographically, they lie in a very, very good strategic position between Indonesia and China around the South China Sea. You mentioned the alliance between the Philippines' two most powerful political families, of Marcos and then Duterte on the other side. And they won, as you mentioned, by landslide in 2022. But this alliance, was kind of one of convenience. And the convenience after they won, it kind of fell away. There was some personal and institutional conflict since day one, basically, but it got worse. But the two main points were divergence in their ideas about foreign policy. Duterte wants to pursue, and her father as well, Rodrigo, did too, pursue a more independent foreign policy, um, where they were seeking closer economic ties with China, and they wanted to reduce confrontation in the South China Sea, and especially the father was sometimes openly critical of Washington, where Marcos has moved decisively in the opposite direction. So they want to expand access for US forces and US bases and reduce their their cooperation with China. And that he's got a very much firmer stance against Chinese activities in the area. And then the other thing is where we come to what this actually means for the Philippines. Many observers expect her to be the front runner in the next elections in 2028. But if she's convicted, she would, of course, be barred from future office, and then reshape the 2028 presidential race. So I think that's the main idea behind this um, impeachment, if you like, which many see as politically motivated.
All right. And just before I let you go, Joan, very briefly, in the Gulf, right, the ceasefire that everyone had hoped would end the US-Iran war, that seems to be coming apart at the seams. We're now seeing more attacks near the Strait of Hormuz, American forces striking around 90 targets inside Iran.
Yeah, the first night was 80. So as you say, then they upped it to 90. Um, Iran is not really responding at the moment. Maybe it's because they're still busy with the funeral. By the way, it's shown remarkable support and unity across Iran and Iraq and what people are calling the Shia Crescent at the moment. So that's kind of a little bit of a warning sign for the US as well. And then there's another problem that the United States has. And I mentioned that Iran is not really striking back at the moment. So they've got the novelty of time on their side. The US Strategic Petroleum Reserves is really in a dire situation. They're trying to hide it, but it's starting to come out that they will basically run out in a few days' time. Now they use huge underground caverns, and like a dam with water, when you draw it down deep enough, it becomes unusable, and they're kind of moving to that point already. And the traffic through the Strait of Hormuz the last few days or week or so were about 30 to 40% of what it was usually. And Iran has been making use of this traffic to get their own oil out. So it's not really helping the global situation much.
Oh, Dr. Joan, just when we thought we were going to make our way out the woods, it looks like we're back ground zero, day one. Yeah. Dr. Joan Swart, we're going to have to leave it there, researcher in military science at the University of Stellenbosch.